Namaskar and welcome to Parliament News. Let's begin with news from the Lok Sabha. Well, the Lok Sabha today it held a short duration discussion on the situation in Ukraine arising out of the conflict with Russia. The union ministers who were engaged with the evacuation exercise informed the House about the challenges involved and how Operation Ganga, the mission to rescue Indian students studying in Ukraine, was personally monitored by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Union Minister for Petroleum Hardeep Puri said that 18,000 stranded students were brought home from different nations bordering Ukraine under Operation Ganga. He also defended the timing of the government's rescue mission and noted that several educational institutes had advised the students against leaving the country, as these students were either completing their courses in 5 to 6 months or a year at the most. Now, many of these institutions told the students that hostilities between the two countries would not escalate, and they expressed their inability to hold online classes, Mr. Puri said. The Petroleum Minister also said that the ongoing war has impacted the fuel prices not only in India but across the globe, be it the US, the UK, Canada, Germany and Sri Lanka. He said that petrol prices in these countries have gone up by over 50%, while in India the increase has only been about 5%. Now, the Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia and the Law Minister Kiran Rijiju, who were involved in Operation Ganga, also spoke in the House. Revolutionary Socialist Party member N.K. Premachandran opened the discussion. While appreciating the evacuation effort, Premachandran said that the rescue mission should have focused on places like Kiev and Sumy that bore the brunt of the Russian attack initially. He asked the government to clarify the impression that has gained ground that India is standing with the aggressor country, which is Russia. Now, the Congress leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, participating in the discussion, said that the government must come up with a solution for the students whose studies now have been disrupted because of the war. The Congress member Manish Tiwari said that while the government took a balanced foreign policy and followed the Nehruvian policy of non-alignment, he claimed that making evacuated students from a war-ravaged Ukraine chant slogans in favor of the government was a self-defeating spectacle. The Trinamool Congress leader Sudhir Bandyopadhyay urged the government to take the lead in playing a mediator's role and assured his party support on foreign policy, while NCP leader Supriya Sule complimented the Ministry of External Affairs for its excellent work. Biju Janata Dal MP Pinaki Mishra lauded the government for being able to effectively handle pressure from the United States. They also said that India needs to watch out for growing ties between China, Russia and Pakistan. Another Congress member, Shashi Tharoor, said that India should use its influence to mediate and bring an end to the war. Law Minister Kiran Rijiju, responding to an opposition member, asserted that India has not ceded an inch of its space to China. A bill to ban financing of weapons of mass destruction is introduced earlier in the day. Amid the sloganeering by the opposition over fuel prices, the External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar introduced a bill that seeks to ban funding of weapons of mass destruction and empower the centre to freeze, seize or attach financial assets and resources of people engaged in such activities. Earlier, the law had banned only the manufacture of weapons of mass destruction and their delivery systems. The External Affairs Minister said the United Nations Security Council's targeted financial sanctions and the recommendations of the Financial Action Task Force, they've mandated against financing activities as well. And the bill seeks to insert a new section 12A in the existing law, which states that no person shall finance any activity which is prohibited under this Act or under the United Nations Security Council Act of 1947 or any other relevant act. Protests over fuel prices. So, as soon as the House assembled at 11 a.m., the Congress leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary and the DMK's T.R. Balu, they demanded a discussion on fuel prices. They stated that they were raised 13 times in the last 2 weeks. Speaker Om Birla continued with the question hour, and the opposition members from the Congress, DMK, Trinamool Congress, Shiv Sena, NCP and the left parties trooped into the well of the House. They raised slogans against the government. The chair adjourned the proceedings till 12 noon since the protests continued unabated. The House was adjourned again until 2 p.m. and after important papers were laid and the bill was introduced as similar scenes of protest were witnessed in the House, the BJP member Rajendra Agarwal, who was in the chair, took up 0R. Opposition members started shouting slogans again, forcing the chair to adjourn for a second time. During question hour, Government answered questions, important questions relating to the functioning of food processing industries, training institutes for employment and fortified variety of crops. Minister for Food Processing Industries Prahlad Singh Patel said that food processing units continued their operations even during COVID-19 and recounted the steps taken by the government to facilitate. Now answering a question on nutrition security, the Minister of State for Agriculture Kailash Chaudhary informed the House that the Indian Council of Agricultural Research, or ICAR as it's known, has launched 2 special programs for upscaling biofortified varieties of crops, and this is through Krishi Vigyan Kendras. Nutri-sensitive agricultural resources and innovations NARI and value addition and technology incubation centers in agriculture Vatika. They are 2 programs launched by the ICAR, the minister said. And during question hour, the Union Rural Development Minister Giriraj Singh informed the House that a total of 588 rural self-employment training institutes promoted by banks are functioning, and they extend skill and entrepreneurship development training programs to rural poor. Let's look at news now from the Rajya Sabha. So the opposition members on Tuesday, they demanded a discussion in the Rajya Sabha over the issue of price hike on petroleum products and essential items such as medicines. Now, after the listed papers were laid in the House, the chairman, M. Venkaiah Naidu, said that several members have given notice to suspend the scheduled business of the House to discuss the price rise. However, he has not accepted these notices. Naidu said that members have already spoken on the issue of price rise during the discussion on the appropriation bill and the finance bill in the House in this session. And the leader of the opposition in the House and senior Congress leader Mallikarjun Kharge said that every day the opposition requests for a discussion on rising prices of petrol, diesel, LPG, PNG and medicines, but the government is not ready to discuss it. On this, the chairman reiterated that some of these issues were raised by members during the discussion on the appropriation bill and the finance bill. Sukhendu Shekhar Ray of the Trinamool Congress said that it was true that during the appropriation bill and the finance bill, some casual references were made regarding rising prices of petroleum products. However, the opposition wants a structured discussion on this issue, he said. K.R. Suresh Reddy of the TRS raised the issue related to procurement of parboiled rice in Telangana. As the chair did not accept the TRS's notice on the issue, the party walked out of the House. During the 0 hour, Shiv Sena MP Sanjay Raut alleged that certain Chinese mobile apps, they were trying to destabilize the Indian economy through fraudulent practices and asked the government to take strict action against them. Raut also raised the issue of the recent arrest of 8 people by the Delhi police in a case related to fraud through a mobile app. Raut said that Pakistan-sponsored agencies like ISI have been circulating fake currency to damage India's economy, and now China has overtaken it. Well, the Shiv Sena MP alleged that blackmailing was taking place on the pretext of providing loans through a Chinese app. He claimed that scores of people have been cheated. He also alleged that data was stolen and sent out of the country. The BJP member Suresh Prabhu said that the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India has accepted most of the proposals mooted by the concerned ministry in this important piece of legislation. The BJD member Sujit Kumar also supported this bill, and he said that amendments will make the 3 bodies more accountable and enable them to adopt global best practices besides reform and speeding up of disciplinary mechanisms of these institutes. P. Wilson of the DMK said that while the government's intention is to complete the disciplinary proceedings in a time-bound manner, there are a lot of infirmities in the bill. Ayodhya Rami Reddy of the YSRCP alleged that this bill is a blatant attempt to take away the autonomy of 3 professional bodies. During the question hour, the Minister of State for Corporate Affairs, Rao Indrajit Singh, informed the Rajya Sabha that out of a total of 1.25 lakh crore rupees spent on CSR in the last 7 years, only 4 to 5% funds have gone to the PM CARES Fund, and that too during the last 2 years amid COVID-19. Replying to a supplementary question, the minister informed the members that there was an attempt initially to include Chief Minister's Relief Fund for spending CSR funds, but it was disallowed by the Government of India. Over a query by Birendra Prasad Bhesha of the AGP on whether CSR funds can be directed to be spent in the Northeast to help ensure speedy development there, the minister said that the idea of Government of India is that it should be a broad-based activity, and responsibility of spending CSR funds lies with the board of companies. Now, in her written reply to this question, the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said that on the basis of the filings made by the companies in MCA 21 registry, companies have spent 507.47 crore rupees in 84 aspirational districts as identified by Niti Aayog, and this is in financial year 2020-21, as against 331.91 crore rupees in 82 aspirational districts in the financial year 2019-20. While replying to supplementary questions, the Minister of State for Health and Family Welfare, Bharati Praveen Pawar, and in fact said that states and union territories, they have reported 5,21,358 deaths due to COVID-19 till April 4. Over a query by the Congress MP Shakti Singh Gohil that the government had promised 4 lakh rupees of compensation for COVID deaths and why this money has not been given. Bharati said that the government has issued guidelines transparently. She said that arrangements had been made to protect and take care of patients through insurance schemes for poorer patients. Minority Affairs Minister Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi informed the Rajya Sabha that the government has made all arrangements for Hajj, but a decision on the modalities has to be taken by Saudi Arabia. Replying to a query by the Trinamool Congress member Nadimul Haq over the restoration of Hajj in 2022, Naqvi said that it is Saudi Arabia which has to decide the modalities of Hajj and how many would be permitted to go for this pilgrimage from India. So the government on Tuesday moved a bill in the Rajya Sabha. This is to unify the 3 municipal corporations of Delhi. This bill, the Delhi Municipal Corporation Amendment Bill 2022, ensures a robust setup for synergized and strategic planning and optimal utilization of resources. The Bill 2022 was introduced in the Rajya Sabha by the Home Minister Amit Shah. Introducing the bill, Amit Shah said that it will unify the 3 municipal corporations, North Delhi Municipal Corporation, South Delhi Municipal Corporation and the East Delhi Municipal Corporation. And he also accused the AAP government in Delhi of meting out stepmotherly treatment to the civic bodies for political reasons. Shah said that trifurcation of the Municipal Corporation of Delhi was done in a hurry in 2012, which led to an imbalance. There was no unanimity in the policies adopted for a city. It was divided in such a manner that 2 of them could not even financially sustain themselves. The CPIM member, John Brittas, moved a proposal to refer this bill to a select committee of the Rajya Sabha. Participating in the debate, the Congress leader, Abhishek Singhvi, said that the move is constitutionally suspect, legally untenable, administratively blunderous and politically hypocritical. According to him, this bill in fact has nothing to do with the plight of Delhi and its hapless citizens. This is a dangerous politics of delaying polls through delimitation, which is going to lead to disorder, disorganization and disaster, he said. Singhvi also raised the issue of reduction of the number of seats in the 3 corporations taken together to 250 from 272. Sudhanshu Trivedi of the BJP supported the bill and said that this was done under the constitutional provisions. AAP's member Sanjay Singh opposed the bill and said that to stop Arvind Kejriwal from coming to power, the centre wants to take control of the 3 municipal corporations in Delhi. Several opposition parties, including the Congress, Samajwadi Party, All India Trinamool Congress, CPIM, DMK, they questioned the timing of the bill and called it an attack on the federal structure of the country. The YSR Congress, AIADMK, Tamil Manala Congress supported the bill. The BJD supported the bill with the condition that the MCD elections are not deferred, and the BSP sought some amendments and relief for workers in the bill. Now, after the discussion, the Rajya Sabha approved the Delhi Municipal Corporation Amendment Bill 2022. And that concludes Parliament News. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.